It is a great day for a number of reasons, two of which I'm going to talk about in this video. One of which you guys are really going to care deeply about, and that is the weekly dividend income from all of our RoundHill weekly dividend ETFs. We have the weekly pays, we have the other ones that are based on options, not the swaps like the leverage. But all in all, it's going to be a really interesting video, and we had some of our largest payments yet, plus some really big news for the channel. So all in all, I'm really hyped up, and I hope you guys are as well. It's been an interesting week in the market, bad couple of days, and now we're seeing some pretty good spikes and some good news politically, all of which I hope you guys are taking in and taking advantage of this time in this crazy green market. All that being said, I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're interested in income, if you're interested in making money in the stock market, you are in the right place. I talk all about income investing, so don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. That way you never miss out on all the free content and updates that these ETFs are providing. Let's roll that intro. For those that may be new to this series, I put $100 into all of the weekly dividend ETFs and I track their progress. This is specifically the RoundHill weekly payers that have been some of the top performers despite being less popular. So what we're going to look at is the AUM on each of them. We're going to look at the chart, the AUM, which is assets under management or money invested in the fund, and the dividend yield, which is a trailing 12 months. And so that can be a little bit misconstrued because if they haven't paid for the full 12 months, they haven't paid, 52 dividends, then it's going to be a little bit warped. So some of the yields are going to be low, like ymag has a 6%. It's actually much, much higher than that, but it's a trailing 12 months. So we're going to cover all of that and more in today's video. And then we're going to look at the last couple of distributions and see the trends. So one thing I am happy about with ymag is we are positive overall. We purchased at $56.08 and it's currently trading at $57.53. AUM of just under 30 million, or I should say just over 29 million, is very solid. This one is growing a lot, primarily because it pays on Wednesdays. The dividend yield of 6.7% is going to be much higher, probably 30 to 40%, if not more so, which I'm really happy about. And they increased their distributions, right? So they were paying out 27.5 cents over and over and over. Then it jumped up to 37.5 cents. And then now we keep seeing it paying a little even higher, 38 cents and then 37.5 cents again, which I love to see. I love those distributions going up. I love prices going up. We must be in a green market. If you guys are wondering why I'm in such a good mood today, yes, the market is up. We also went on Spaces on X with Wolf Trading, one of the largest pages I've seen for trading on X on Twitter, and it was phenomenal. So Spencer Invest is on Twitter. I'm chatting with people over there. If you guys are interested, follow me. That was one reason. Reason number two, there actually is three, not just two. Reason number two is I was supposed to have jury duty this week on Tuesday. It kept getting pushed back, and finally, boom, I'm out of it. I don't have to go, which is amazing. Everything's fine. Messed up my work schedule quite a bit, but we go on. And last but not least, we had some huge distributions this week, and I want to talk about them. And I want to give you a little precursor on what's going to happen on the channel plus some. So lots of announcements in this video, but I do hope you guys enjoy. QDTE, one of the oldest weekly payers, has paid over the 52-week period, meaning the dividend yield of 42% is accurate, and the AUM of 823, pretty solid. It seems to be continually increasing as well. Last couple distributions, we can see we had 24.5 cents, we had almost 23 cents, 23, almost 24 cents, and now 23, almost 24 cents again. Pretty consistent. Not too bad. I want the price to come back for a lot of these original 0DTE ones because it just has not recovered like I wanted it to. My initial buys were all the way up, in the 42, 43 range, and we're still sitting at 35.5. Need that to come back up to get some nice returns, but I am happy that the dividends are consistent and the trend is looking pretty solid. A quick notice, I do have the weekly dividend cheat sheet up for free. The main reason I made this was I wanted to see the trailing 12-month yield and the paydays. So you can actually make a portfolio that pays you every single day, which I also have a full video on. But I added some of the new ones. If you got the original, we have like 47 now. I need to add the newest 5 ones from RoundHill that we're going to talk about in this video. But once those are in, it will be complete until the next weekly payer comes out, which could be any time. So if you want this, SpencerInvest.com. It'll be available down below in the comments. Check it out. And again, totally free. RDTE is a similar story, 142 million AUM, so a little bit on the lower side. And then we also have a dividend yield of 35%. It hasn't gone for the full year, but we are getting close. September will be 1 full year, so it's probably a 40% yielder, if not even a little more than that. Last couple of distributions, we had 27.5 cents, we had 26 cents, 26 and a little extra change, and 26.5. Can't really complain. It's doing what it should be doing. Maybe the dividends have dropped a little bit. I figured that the Russell 2000's implied volatility should continue to have this thing pay more, but it's been a little bit disappointing, I will say. Now, the market has been rough, and we did see this fall from $46 to $30, so there's still a lot of ground to make up. And they're paying out large distributions. It's not doing great price-wise, but only time will tell. Every single video I make on the RoundHill payers, I get made fun of for week, which is WEEK, the ticker. It's a weekly T-bill ETF, and it yields 4% per year. Does exactly what it's supposed to do. The price stays the same, around $100, and you get 4%. It's 113 million AUM and a dividend yield of 4%. That is what it is. The last couple distributions are all going to be very similar, just under 8 cents typically. Under 8 cents, just under 8 cents, just under 8 cents, and again, just under 8 cents. Big shocker, but I have to talk about it because it's a really cool way to get some weekly distributions. And I mean, it's technically little to no risk because it is T-bills. A little bit of risk still, as always, with all investments, but pretty impressed by this one, although it definitely is not everybody's favorite. XDTE is the same as QDTE and RDTE. The price hasn't recovered, and we really need it to. Although it does have a $407 million AUM. It was initially one of my favorites, but the yield is just too low for me, 31%, which I know is phenomenal. If you're looking at typical dividend stocks, they're like 6 to 10%. But for an income ETF with the NAV decay or price drop, whatever you want to call it, it needs to be doing a little more than that because we've seen it fall from $54. It's back up to $44. Maybe it'll keep climbing if this market holds up, but still, you need to see a little bit of improvement, right? Last couple distributions, we had 27 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, and 25.5 cents. So not bad. I'm not bashing on these. These were some of the original 3 that I owned. All 3, QDTE, RDTE, and XDTE. I have sold them all. I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I sold them all for some of the better payers. I sold them all for some of the RoundHill ETFs even. So we'll talk about that when we get to it, which I am really excited to look at those weekly pay ETFs. But we have another couple we need to look at first. YBTC. This one is very interesting to me, a Bitcoin weekly payer. We have an AUM of 250 million. Oof, took me a long time to say that. We have a dividend yield of 44%, but it hasn't paid weekly the entire time. This one converted from monthly to weekly in January. Now, the dividends have been consistently all over the place, but typically a little bit higher than a lot of the others. So we saw 27.5 cents, 27.5 cents, 31 cents, and now 42 cents. Really good week. Bitcoin hit some new all-time highs as it continues to do, and boom. There you go. Very impressed by this one, but now it also is paired with its cousin, brother, sister, YETH, which is the newest weekly pair that we've added to this portfolio. Not the prettiest chart, but we did see it climb back up with this latest run. Now, ETH has been all over the place, Ethereum, the underlying, and an AUM of 64 million, wow, backwards again, and a dividend yield of 77.5%, which is not going to recoup this $59 drop to $25 by any means, but now that it's down here, can it level out? Only time will tell. Our first dividend was huge because it wasn't a weekly, but it paid $1.52, and now we've gotten 36 cents, and 38.5 cents. So some really solid distributions. We've seen an increase in price, which is nice. And it actually did move quite a bit more than a lot of the others, even in this green market. So I can't really complain. But hear me out. We are in a green market. I feel like I do this every video now. It's kind of funny. Say that with me. We are in a green market. These are all cooking, right? They're all doing great. If you guys are older than me or you don't know what cooking means, that means they're doing really good. And so we see that with a lot of the weekly pays. We see that with a lot of the RoundHill weekly pairs, the YieldMax weekly pairs. A lot of these are doing really well, but the market overall is doing really well. So keep that in mind. In a down market, who knows what some of these will do? I imagine some will hold up better than others, and we've seen some of them in a down market, like the initial ones, but they haven't recouped that loss, which is an important thing to remember. But now we're going to jump into our leveraged pairs, which is going to definitely blow your mind. I am really pumped for these because the leverage ones are becoming my favorites. I'm just going to say it, and you guys don't seem to like them as much. And when I say you guys, maybe some of you guys do. I love these. And one thing I want to note, I purchased a few of these. I think I own 3 of them in my actual Roth IRA. I invested anywhere around $1,000 into them. And what I'm planning on doing, if you guys don't know, I have a second channel called Spencer Invests Stocks. And so I don't like to post all my trades and whatnot on here. I know some people do it for a fee, but I'm in this with you guys. Like, let's do it together. So my plan is I am going to use Spencer Invest Stocks to show my portfolio, my holdings, what I'm buying, what I'm selling for free, right? Because we're all in this together, and I want feedback because we're all going to help each other improve. So if you guys are interested, I will link that down below as well. The video is not out yet. It was an idea that I had a couple days ago when I came to a decision today that I will be doing that. And one thing I want to point out, when we get to the paid section, the dividend section of this video, I'll show you guys the ones that I did buy and how much money I made on them, because it was very, very impressive to make some money really, really quickly. And it really shows that the more money you invest, the more money you're going to make on these. But it's wild how quickly you can start making $10, $20, $30, $100 every single week with these ETFs. Again, if the market holds up, starting off with AAPW, which the market has relentlessly torn down, 12.7 million AUM, dividend yield under 15%. It's probably going to be a consistent 30 to 40% yielder. Last couple of payments, we had 26.5 cents, we had 22.5 cents, we had 75 cents, so a massive payment from AAPW, and now we had 40. Wow. Implied volatility must be up. Those swaps are working. And then again, these leverage payers, they do hold 20% of the underlying. A mistake I made in the last video update that a commenter corrected. So thank you very much for pointing that out. So many ETFs, they get jumbled up in my brain sometimes. So if you guys hear me make a mistake, please put it in the comments. It happens. We're all human. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for pointing that out to the commenter that did. And AAPW, I'm not buying it yet, but maybe I will soon. Let's jump into our next ETF. AMZW is a new one. It's one of the new 5, but again, they are launching 5 more, I think tomorrow or today or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. And we have an AUM of 3.6 million, dividend yield of 3.5%. First couple of distributions, we've had it for exactly a week, it looks like. 31 cents, 42 cents, 36.5 cents, and now we had 74 cents. A huge pay week for AMZW. Might be one to watch. I imagine BRKW is going to be similar to Apple, but even slower, simply because it's a slow growth type play. $2.4 million AUM, dividend yield of 2.16%, and the last couple distributions, 23.5 cents, 22 cents, 20 cents, and 39 cents. Now, let me know in the comments, I've said this before, what stocks do you guys want the single leveraged weekly pay ETFs to be created on? Because I would love like a SoFi one would be amazing. They are launching MSTW, which is an MSTR one. They have a Broadcom one. They have quite a few others that I'm really interested in. But I want a SoFi one. Could be great. Could be great. Let me know in the comments what single stock one you guys want, please, because I bet you guys have some better ideas than I can make up right now. But BRKW, slow growth. We'll see how this one pans out. COIW is just the gift that keeps on giving. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I ran a comparison between Coney, COIW, and COII by RecShares. COII was the best performer. COIW was in second place, and it kind of blew Coney out of the water. I did a full video on COIW versus Coney that you guys can check out on my channel if you're interested. But I do like COIW. Absolutely wild run it's been going on as Coinbase has been pushing to new highs as well. AUM is 42.4 million, dividend yield of 17%. It's going to be probably in the 60 to 70%, if not higher. Last couple distributions, we saw 77 cents, then we saw 88 cents, then we saw 80 cents, and now we saw 95 cents. What a payment from COIW. Absolutely love to see it. HOOW is blowing my mind. 25.52 million AUM, 6% dividend yield on only 4 distributions. That is nuts. We can also see we had 92 cents the first payment, then 97, then $1.18, and now $1.12, almost $1.13. I'm going to tell you guys, the ones that I purchased, that I bought them specifically to talk about the payments, whether it be through short form content or on my other channel. I bought COIW, I bought HOOW, and I bought PLTW, and my payments have been insane. So what they did, I put, again, roughly $1,000 into each of them, and each of them paid me over $15, which is wild. Absolutely wild. And I think HOOW is going to continue. PLTW may be slowing down a little bit, but I'm really excited for this one in the long run. Not financial advice. It's just my opinion. Let me know which one you guys are watching out of the new group, out of this group, out of all the original weekly payers. I'm really curious what everyone is buying and holding. And I know you guys are probably fans of the YieldMax as well. So those ones are fine. Drop any of them in the comments. I got to move quickly because some of these are they're just a little slow. We have METW, 3 million AUM, 4% distribution rate. We had 34 cents. We had 45 cents, 33 cents, and then 72. Man, they had a crazy week this week. 72 cents for METW on Meta, which is wild. We just must have had a lot of volatility this week, and I'm here for it because that means juicy payments from, I'm guessing, those from the swaps. We also saw some growth too, because I think that holding the 20% of the underlying has made a big difference as well. Very, very impressed this week with the leveraged payers. NFLW is another quiet one, only 3.24 million AUM, 4.4% dividend. And we can see the last couple payments. We had 44 cents, we had 52 cents, we had 40 cents, and we had 66 cents. So again, pretty good. And I will say, I keep seeing all these videos, all these podcasts about how YouTubers are going to be replaced by AI. But I would love to see someone create an AI model of me that could butcher all these numbers that I mess up over and over and mumble as much as I do and go on my rants, which I'm sure that they could, but would they really be Spencer Invest rants if it's, an AI version of me? I don't know, but it'd probably be a lot smarter than me. So maybe there are some benefits. Anyways, I'm not going AI, just another tangent, of course, that you guys know I love to go on those tangents. NFLW, not doing too much, but we'll still watch it. What is happening? NVDW, or our NVIDIA weekly pay, 31.5 million, 15.6% distribution rate. Last couple of payments, 45 cents, 51 cents, 47 cents, and 50 cents. So not insane payments, but pretty solid. And that price return is going to be hard to beat, even though it did fall off a little bit, down about $2. Will it bounce back? Only time will tell. But this one isn't even our best performer, even with this wild run it's gone on. PLTW's chart is very interesting. It's one of the largest weekly pays. I think it is the largest weekly pay ETF, actually, at 91 million. And we see a dividend yield of 22%. Last couple of payments, we had 65 cents. We had 49, we had 65 again, and 66. People were complaining the payments weren't as good as some of the others and whatnot, but PLTR has been sitting near the all-time highs for a while. I feel like the implied volatility is just dropping a little bit as it kind of maintains that area. Who knows? Only time will tell, but you cannot beat the total return from some of these ETFs. It's been wild just tracking them. And our final, before we jump into our dividend tracking spreadsheet, we have TSLW, 32 million AUM, dividend yield of 25%. A little bit more disappointed in this one. It fell hard from $50 down to sub 30. Ran back up to 43 and then sold back off again. Now are we on another run? I don't know. Who knows? But we are moving in the upward motion, which I like to see. Now, again, a little bit disappointed, but the dividends have been all over the place as well. We had 48.5 cents, we had 47 cents, we had 38 cents, and now 39 cents. It was paying out pretty crazy. Then we had this really low 17-cent week. Not sure what happened there, but it was not a great week for those that were expecting a nice fat dividend. Now, I will say with the leveraged payers, these are all pretty high. They are paying out like 30 to 40 cents on average, which is pretty solid. A lot of the other ones are in the 20s. Like I think some of the YieldMax ones, ymax are not paying in the 40s. And don't get me wrong, I like those funds as well, but I think we should really be looking, how are they paying out this much? What is going on? This market is very green and we are reaping those rewards. Now we're going to jump into our dividend tracking spreadsheet. Stay with me. We are going to see what has made us the most money, what has had the worst NAV performance, and what has paid out the most in dividends. One thing that's really important to note, if you skipped part of the video or now you're here, this is our payments per money invested, not per share. On Moomoo, when I was showing you guys, that is per share. This is per our investment, which for some of these is $100. Some of these, it's more than 100 because they had drip on when I started this challenge almost a year ago now. So I'm going to show you guys on the positions tab exactly what we have invested in each. So it's going to look like QDTE, XDTE, and RDTE are paying the same as YBTC and some of these others. They are not. There's more money invested in those three because I've held them for a very long time. Then we can see it's been good though, right? We had 72 cents from QDTE, XDTE 77 cents, and RDTE 80 cents. YBTC paid 91 cents. It's a great payer. Week paid its 8 cents. Can't complain at all. MagY 75 cents again, going strong. AAPW 80 cents. Very good for that one. COIW $1.89. Again, wow. This one just keeps climbing. Coinbase, Bitcoin, everything is pushing that one higher. NVDW $1.01. Pretty consistent with the last payment, just 1 cent lower. Very good. It's like a casual performer, right? It's getting like 40, 50%, but you're blown away by the 70 or 80% by others. But NVDW, don't sleep on it. That's all I'm going to say. PLTW, $1.98. Pretty impressive, but not our highest dividend. Not even close, I'll be honest. TSLW, 78 cents. And YETH, we had $1.54. I must have forgotten to put that one in there. Now we're going to move over. Now, it's funny because it's not showing these yet. They're not even on Excel because they're just such new tickers. Even though they've been out for a few weeks now, I'm hoping Microsoft picks up and puts these on here and we can see our payments. So it goes in alphabetical order. So first we have AMZW, paid 73 last week and now $1.47. Some solid distributions. BRKW, 41 cents, now 78 cents. Still a good jump, but I think it's going to be a slower payer overall. HOOW, $2.36 and $2.26. Significantly amazing payments, the first two payments. Then we have METW with $1.45. Can't complain at all about that. Last but not least, NFLW, $1.32. So again, some really great payments from our leveraged weekly pay ETFs this week. Cannot complain, and that's why I'm buying them in my portfolio, which very excited about. Sliding all the way to the side. Let me make sure you guys can still see. You can. We were paid $19.31 this week. This week. That is absolutely amazing. We had phenomenal payments. Really can't complain. It's our best week yet. And we actually are going to be adding 5 new weekly payers, right? Because they are launching this week. So I wonder how many times I say week in one of these videos. It's got to be a ton, right? So we're going to keep seeing this number go up. And so, of course, I am contributing more money into the account, and I'll showcase that every time I do. Typically, I have the exact amount in $100 increments that I would for the number of weekly payers, right? So that's an easy way to track it. But I am working on something that is going to make it significantly easier to track. Just bear with me for a little bit. And now let's jump into our positions tab and find out all of that important data that I know you guys are looking for. I've hidden my camera so you guys can get a better view of our ETFs. And I don't have to worry about it blocking what I'm talking about. But what we can see here is we have our average cost, our number of shares, and all of our payers. When I say that they're not populating, I'm in contact with Excel. Hopefully we get these up very, very soon because I just want to know. I want to know how they're doing. I want to know the tracking. It's very, very important. Now we can also slide all the way to the side, see all the data, share price. All this automatically pulls in our tracking spreadsheet, which is now available for those interested on spencerInvest.com. If you guys don't know, I made this specifically for the weekly payers. Has a weekly column, the monthly column tracks all of your data in one place. All you do is input in the data, as in the dividends and the tickers, and you are solid. It pulls a bunch of this stuff. Super cool. So SpencerInvest.com, it's even on sale right now if you guys do want it. Now, all right, here we go. QDTE positive 7.43%. We can see some red. This is our actual initial investment, what it's down. So I had $100. So now QDTE, for example, would be worth $84, but we're still positive 7.43%, including the distributions. That's the only difference. The total in the green has distributions. The red does not. Then we see XDTE in the green now as well, 4.24%, and RDTE finally climbing out of the red where it's been for months at positive 1.51%. YBTC is up 22%, absolutely cooking with the weekly income. Week is up 1.3%. MAGY is up 7%. AAPW, unfortunately, even with that nice payment, is still down 18.8%. Oof. COIW did drop from last week. It is now only up 74%, which is still outrageously phenomenal. But let me know your thoughts. Wow. NVDW is up 44.63%. PLTW is up 72.27%. That is amazing. TSLW is in the green, now up 8.53%. And YETH is up 10.15%. Now, of all of these, I will also say HOOW is in the green quite nicely. It's up 7%, not including the distribution. So even though the data is not selected yet, it will be very, very soon. Climbing all the way over, these are going to be a little bit messed up, but up here it's accurate because the tickers are known. So we have QDTE, we have our cost basis and our market value. So we are down $21, and that goes for all of these, but we are also getting distributions on our initial investment of $130 or roughly that compared to the others. So QDTE, XDTE, and RDTE are all well above that $100 mark, and the dividends are still not competing with a lot of these others, like YBTC, which is barely in the red. Again, some of these are also nicely in the green just because, right? They're up on the initial investment. COIW, I put $77 because you can't have fractional shares on Moomoo, and it's all the way up to 118. NVDW went from 78 to 101. PLTW went from 97 to $142. Absolutely amazing. And last but not least, our total dividends received. Now we can see our main three. These have been paying again for a year now, and they're still struggling to outpace some of the newer ones like YBTC, which is definitely a higher yielder. $30 from QDTE, 26 from XDTE, and 31 from RDTE. YBTC in just 6 months is now at $22. Week is at $1.28. Magway, some of these are a little bit insignificant, but down here it starts getting crazy. $16 from COIW, again in a couple of months now. NVDW $12, 13 from TSLW, and $24.83 from PLTW. Absolutely wild. That one is up so nicely, and you love to see it. Now I'm going to throw this back up. Boom. Hello. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate all the support, all the kind comments on the last video, which was amazing. And again, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my website, Spencer Invest. You can get the free cheat sheet on there. You can get this one for purchase if you're interested in tracking all of your weekly dividends. And of course, check my links down below for more. You guys are absolutely amazing. We surpassed 22,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. Thank you guys so much. I think I said thank you enough. But again, check out these videos popping up on your screen right now, including my weekly recap of the YieldMax weekly paying dividend ETFs. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.